want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Hey everyone, I'm Tom Barilli, and this is the Joe Blow Movie Network Easter Egg Countdown. This week we take a look at the cinematic debut of one of DC Comics' legendary head-to-heads with Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition. Whether you're Team Bat or Team Man of Steel, this film is packed with enough cameos, secrets, and references to please any comic book fan. So let's get ready and let the best man win. The Mark of Zorro is the film showing at the theater. This is the same film on the marquee in Frank Miller's iconic The Dark Knight Returns. Cameos by Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohen as Bruce and Martha Wayne. This is the first time a Batman movie has shown a created by credit for Bill Finger alongside Bob Kane. Finger is responsible for Batman's iconic look and tone. Named only in the Ultimate Edition, Jimmy Olsen is played by Michael Cassidy, who previously appeared on CW's Smallville. Kellen Mulvey plays Luther Henchman and Tali Kniazev. In the comics, Kniazev is known as the villain KG Beast.
Challenge down, sir.
Python, we have lost our asset on the ground. Repeat, we have lost our asset on the ground.
The CIA codenames Python and Talon are references to characters from Batman's storyline The Court of the Owls, as well as DC Comics Sandman.
Only the diehards are left.
Delta Charlie 27.
In the GPD police car, the radio calls out Delta Charlie 27, a reference to Detective Comics number 27, the comic issue debuting the Batman.
Reports of screams coming from vacant home at 1939 Harbor Way.
1939 is the year Batman debuted in DC Comics. In a football game, a player can be seen holding up a big photo of Richard Nixon, a nod to Zack Snyder's Watchmen. Next to the Nixon photo, a player with the number 52 can be seen, a nod to DC's new 52 event. The end is nigh graffiti is a reference to Rorschach's nihilistic sign from Watchmen. A sign for Ace Chemicals can be seen to the right of the Seaport billboard, a reference to the location of the Joker's origin. Officers Mazzuccella and Rucka are named for comic book artists and writers David Mazzuccella and Greg Rucka. The mailbox to the left of Lois's says Rigby. This is a nod to stunt coordinator Tim Rigby. The scientist explaining kryptonite is credited as Dr. Emmett VALE, the scientist responsible for creating Metallo in DC Comics.
And ask him how he decides which lives count.
Kahina Zikri, the woman who testifies against Superman, is based on a character from Aquaman comics who is able to see the future. A drawing of the cover of Action Comics number 1 can be seen on the wall of Wallace Keefe's apartment. Robin's suit scrawled with a message from the Joker is a nod to the Death of the Family storyline. Bruce Wayne's car is an Aston Martin DB Mark III, the vehicle driven by James Bond in the novel Goldfinger. The painting behind Clark Kent is Cleon Peterson's A Balance of Terror. It depicts characters in black battling characters in white, foreshadowing the battle between Superman and Batman.
Considering every time your hero saves a cat out of a tree, you read a puff piece editorial.
Bruce Wayne mentions Superman saving a cat out of a tree. Superman actually did this in the original Superman the movie. The numbers on the rocket read 300, a nod to Zack Snyder's film of the same name. Charlie Rose asking,
"Must there be a Superman?"
is a nod to a classic comic book story of the same name. Jenna Malone appears playing Jeanette Clyburn. In DC Comics, Jeanette is a scientist who works at Star Labs.
Stood for something, Perry. And so could you if it was 1938, but it's not 1938.
Perry White calls out Clark for thinking like it was 1938. This was the year Superman debuted in Action Comics number 1. The Omega symbol scrawled on Earth is the trademark of Darkseid, a major DC villain. Looking closely, you can see Batman has a Joker card taped to his gun. The flying creatures are parademons, the minions of Darkseid, a tease of the villain.
She was my world, and you took her from me.
Clark blaming Bruce for the death of Lois is a nod to the storyline of the video game Injustice: Gods Among Us. The sight of Batman holding a rifle is a nod to a similar frame from the Dark Knight Returns graphic novel. The building the Batmobile exits from is the Nicholson Terminal, a nod to Joker actor Jack Nicholson. Sitting next to Senator Finch is actual Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy. A Batman fan, Leahy has made appearances in Batman and Robin, as well as the Dark Knight trilogy. The diner Martha Kent works at is called Raleigh's Diner. This is featured in a DC comic story about Lex Luthor romancing a waitress. The photos of Belgium 1918 feature Chris Pine as Steve Trevor in the upcoming Wonder Woman movie.
Alexander Luthor, your security override has been accepted.
CARLA cameos as the voice of the Kryptonian ship.
I've identified the host as General Zod of Kandor.
Zod is recognized as coming from Kandor. Kandor was a Kryptonian city shrunk before the planet exploded and kept in Superman's Fortress of Solitude in the comics.
The whole Lang farm washed away.
Pa Kent's story involves mention of the Lang farm, a reference to Clark's childhood sweetheart, Lana Lang. Graffiti of the Riddler's ? Logo is visible on the left pillar. The van Lois is thrown into reads Terrio Janitorial. Chris Terrio wrote the screenplay for Batman vs. Superman. Footage of Cyborg's origin shows Dr. Silas Stone using a mother box to bring Victor back to life. Mother boxes came from Apocalypse, home planet of Darkseid.
POTUS joining.
Mr. President.
What the hell is it, Calvin?
The voice of the president is that of Watchmen actor Patrick Wilson. Another iconic pose from the cover of The Dark Knight Returns. Lex is seen communicating with a creature holding 3 mother boxes. This character is Justice League villain Steppenwolf. Lex's prison jumpsuit lists TK-421. This is the same name of the stormtrooper Luke pretends to be in Star Wars. Zack Snyder's wife Deborah is seen carrying the yellow pot. Pete Ross, Clark's childhood friend, can be seen on the left. Father Leone, the priest Clark confided in during Man of Steel, is seen. Superman's coffin bears the silver crest worn by the resurrected Superman in the DC Comics storyline.
Prisoner AC 231940.
Lex is called Prisoner AC 231940, a nod to Action Comics number 23, published in 1940, which was Lex's first appearance. And that's all for this installment of the Joe Blow Movie Network Easter Egg Countdown. If you caught any Easter eggs we didn't, make sure to leave them in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. For the Joe Blow Movie Network, I'm Tom Barilli.